ChatGPT just became a lot more useful for free users, and one of the biggest changes sounds almost too good to be true. You can now have unlimited everyday text chats with ChatGPT on the free plan. But there is a catch. Actually, there are several, because unlimited text chats does not mean everything inside ChatGPT is unlimited. Images still have limits, file uploads still have limits, data analysis still has limits, and some of the more advanced tools have their own restrictions. But normal text conversations, those are now basically unlimited for everyday use, and honestly, this changes the way you can use ChatGPT. Before, you might think twice before sending another message. Now you can start with something simple. Give me 20 ideas for YouTube videos about Apple, then say, develop number 5. Write the intro. Make it shorter. Give me 10 titles. Make them less clickbait. Now write the description. And you can just keep going. That is probably the biggest difference. You no longer have to treat every message like something you need to save, but Unlimited still needs some explanation, because if you start generating images, that is separate. If you upload PDFs, documents, spreadsheets, or photos, those tools have their own limits. The same applies to data analysis, so no, you cannot upload hundreds of PDFs, generate hundreds of images, and expect everything to be completely unlimited. The unlimited part is mainly normal text conversations, and for most people that is probably what they use the most anyway. But there is another feature that I think is even more interesting, and that is Think. Normally you ask ChatGPT a question and it gives you an answer pretty quickly, but some questions need more than that. They need actual reasoning. For example, imagine I have 5 products. They all have different prices, different discounts, different taxes, maybe different shipping costs, and I ask, which combination is actually the cheapest? That is where Think starts making sense. Or maybe I am choosing between 3 laptops. One is cheaper, one has better battery life, one is more powerful, and I want to know which one is actually the best choice for the next 4 years. Again, this is something where I would use Think. The same applies to programming, research, planning, comparing different options, or solving problems with several steps. I would not use it for everything. If I ask, what is the capital of Germany? There is no reason for ChatGPT to think about that for longer, but when the answer depends on several different factors, Think can make a noticeable difference. Another part of ChatGPT that I think a lot of people completely ignore is plugins. Basically, plugins allow ChatGPT to work with other apps and services, and I think the best way to use them is very simple. Do not install random plugins just because they exist. Look for apps you already use. Maybe you use a music service. Maybe you work with cloud storage. Maybe there is a productivity tool you use every day. The interesting part is that instead of constantly moving information between different apps, ChatGPT can sometimes interact with those services directly, and depending on the plugin, you can call it directly inside your conversation. So ChatGPT starts becoming more than just one chatbot. It becomes a place where several of your tools can work together. Of course, not every plugin is available to everyone. Some depend on your region, your account, or your subscription, so your list might look different from somebody else's. Now here's another feature that I think more people should use: temporary chat. Normally, ChatGPT can use your previous conversations and saved memories to personalize future answers, and most of the time that is useful. But sometimes you do not want that. Maybe you are asking about something completely unrelated to what you normally do. Maybe you are testing a strange prompt. Maybe you simply do not want one conversation affecting future responses. That is where temporary chat is useful. Temporary chats do not appear in your normal chat history. They do not use or create memories, and they are not used to train OpenAI's models. But there is something important to understand. Temporary does not mean the conversation instantly disappears from every OpenAI system the second you close it. Those chats can still be kept for a limited period for safety purposes. There is also one privacy setting that I think everybody should at least know exists. Go into Settings, then Data Controls, and look for the option called Improve the Model for Everyone. You can turn this off. If you disable it, your new conversations will not be used to improve OpenAI's models. Your chat history can still remain there. You are simply changing whether your conversations can be used for model improvement. Whether you want that enabled or disabled is completely your choice, but the important thing is knowing that the setting exists. Another useful feature is projects, and this is one of those things that does not sound very exciting until you actually start using it. Normally, your conversations are separate. You have one chat here, another chat there, maybe some uploaded files somewhere else, and after a while, everything becomes messy. Projects help organize that. You can create one project for one topic, for example, a YouTube channel. Inside that project, you can keep your video ideas, scripts, research, uploaded files, instructions for ChatGPT, and related conversations. Everything stays connected to the same project, so instead of explaining the same context again and again, you can keep everything in one place. You can also share projects with other people. For example, if two people are working on the same YouTube channel, they can keep the research and conversations together instead of constantly sending screenshots back and forth. And I think this is one of the features that becomes more useful the more you use ChatGPT, because eventually the problem is not getting ChatGPT to answer something. The problem is keeping all your work organized, and projects help with that. And I think all of these changes point in the same direction. ChatGPT is slowly becoming less like a website where you ask one question and get one answer. You can have much longer conversations. You can give it more time to think. You can connect it with other tools. You can separate temporary conversations from your normal chats. You can control how your data is used, and you can organize larger pieces of work inside projects. But I still would not call ChatGPT completely unlimited. Text chat is now extremely generous. The tools around it are not. Images have limits, files have limits, data analysis has limits, and some features depend on your plan or region. So the important change is not really that everything in ChatGPT is unlimited. It is that for normal everyday conversations, you probably do not need to think about the message limit anymore. And that makes a much bigger difference than it sounds. Because instead of asking one question and leaving, you can actually work with ChatGPT. You can start with an idea, improve it, change it, ask questions, go back, try another version, and keep going until you actually get something useful. And that is probably the biggest change here. ChatGPT feels less like a tool you occasionally ask questions, and more like something you can actually work with. If you already use ChatGPT regularly, check your settings and your available features. There is a good chance at least one of these is sitting there and you have never used it. And if there is another useful ChatGPT feature that I missed, leave it in the comments. I want to know which features people actually use and which ones they completely ignore.